You know that feeling, right? You're looking for that one thing on your desk, in your workshop, wherever, and it's just gone, buried. That feeling is chaos, and it secretly sabotages your entire workflow. But what if I told you there's a simple, incredibly powerful Japanese philosophy that can bring total clarity to how you work? Well, let's break it down.
Okay, to really get this, let's start by just setting the scene. I want you to picture your own workspace, whether it's a desk, a workshop, maybe even your kitchen counter. Be honest with yourself.
We've all been there, haven't we? Spending precious minutes, sometimes longer, hunting for that one specific tool or file, all while this low-level stress is just humming in the background because of all the clutter. You're not alone in this. And the good news? The solution is way, way simpler than you might think.
And really, it boils down to a pretty clear choice. On one side, you've got chaos, which means wasted time, constant stress, and just plain frustration. But on the other side, you have clarity. That's peak efficiency, focus motivation, and high performance. That transformation, that's exactly what we're aiming for. So how do we actually make that leap? Well, the answer is a system called 5S. And I have to tell you, this is so much more than just someone telling you to tidy up. This is a complete methodology, and it's designed for peak performance.
At its core, 5S is a system for creating and maintaining a workspace that's organized, clean, and just highly efficient. The real magic, though, is in its structure. It's 5 simple steps that build on each other to create some pretty amazing, lasting change. So let's dive into what those 5 steps actually are. Think of this as our roadmap, the exact path we're going to take to get from that chaos to that clarity we're looking for. Here they are: sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. And yeah, we'll use their original Japanese names too: Seiri, Seiton, Seiso, Seiketsu, and Shitsuke, just to honor where this whole philosophy comes from. This is our game plan. All right, let's jump into our first step: sort, or Seiri. You can basically think of this as a major decluttering operation. The rule might sound a little ruthless, but it's incredibly effective. If an item is not necessary for your work, it's gotta go. You literally pick up every single item and ask, do I really need this here? When was the last time I actually used it? But what about all those just-in-case items we all hang on to? For those, there's a brilliant little tool called the red tag method. It's all simple. You just tag the item you're not sure about and put it in a special area. If, after a set amount of time, say a month, you haven't even touched it, well, you've got your answer. It's time to let it go. No more guessing. Okay, so once we finally cleared out all that clutter, we get to step 2, set in order, or Seiton. The motto here is one we all know, but let's be honest, we rarely master it. The goal is to find a logical, intuitive, and super accessible home for every single item that survived that first sorting phase.
And this number right here, this is the goal: 30 seconds. Anyone, and I mean anyone, even someone who's never been in your space before, should be able to find any tool or file they need in 30 seconds or less. But here's the deeper reason why this is so important. It's not just about saving time. It's about reducing the load on your brain. Every time you have to search for something, you're burning precious mental energy. When everything has a home, you can spend that energy on the actual work. It's a huge gain.
Now for step 3, shine, or Seiso. And no, this is not your typical weekend chore. In the finesse philosophy, cleaning is actually an active form of inspection. Think about it. As you wipe down a machine, you might spot a small oil leak. As you organize a shelf, you might notice a screw that's come loose. It's all about finding problems before they become disasters.
Because a messy space doesn't just look bad, it's practically an open invitation for things to go wrong. It creates the perfect conditions for mistakes, for accidents, and for a big drop in quality. A clean space, on the other hand, is your first line of defense. So we've sorted everything, we've set it in order, and we've made it shine. But how do we stop all that chaos from slowly creeping back in? Well, that brings us to step 4, standardize. This is all about turning great work from a personal effort into a clear, shared system with rules that everyone can see and follow. And a fantastic way to do this is with something called the PDCA cycle. It might sound a bit technical, but it's really, really simple. You plan a new standard, you do it, you check to see if it's working, and then you act to make it even better. It's the engine that drives continuous improvement. And that brings us to the final and, maybe the most challenging step of all: sustain, or Shitsuke.
This is the top of the mountain. The goal here is to make 5S stop being a project and become something that's just baked into the company's DNA. It's just the way we work here.
So how do you actually build that culture? Well, it's a combination of a lot of small things. Daily 5-minute 5S activities at the end of the day, simple visual reminders on the walls, and this one's crucial, full and visible support from leadership. Oh, and celebrating the wins to keep everybody motivated. It's about everyone taking ownership of the system.
Okay, so why go through all this effort? I mean, what do you really get in return? Well, the answer is so much more than just a tidy desk. The payoff is real, and believe me, it is measurable. The results really speak for themselves. When this system is truly put into practice, the gains are huge. Efficiency skyrockets because you're not wasting time looking for stuff. Safety improves because hazards have nowhere to hide. And quality is elevated because, let's face it, in a clean, orderly environment, people just make fewer mistakes. And this right here is the true genius of 5S. When everything is in its place and sparkling clean, anything out of the ordinary, a tiny puddle of oil on the floor, a tool not in its designated spot, it sticks out like a sore thumb. It's like an alarm bell. You catch problems when they're small. The ultimate ambition is a workplace with 0 accidents, 0 breakdowns, and 0 defects. Now, all of this might sound absolutely massive, like some huge corporate project, but the journey of 5S doesn't have to start that way at all. It can start with you.
And this is probably the most important thing to remember. You don't have to reorganize an entire office tomorrow. That is not the goal. The goal is just to begin. Start with one messy drawer. Start with just the corner of your workbench. Start with that one closet where everything just gets tossed. Just start somewhere.
So I'll just leave you with this question. Forget about the entire mountain for a second. Just focus on the very next step. What is the one small, simple thing you can do today to begin your own journey from chaos to clarity?